so now we're gonna go over how to breathe for your lift, okay? This is called diaphragmatic breathing, and it's basically to get the diaphragm working and contracting the way it should. A diaphragm is part of our core, and if we want the core to be working like it should, then we need to start with the breathing, and we wanna do this on each and every rep that we do. So the way that we can kind of find out how to breathe and get that diaphragm activated is starting on the ground. I really like to start here. So this could be part of your warm-up. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your hands right outside of your abs. So basically find your obliques on the lower part. So you can find your belly button and then go a little bit outside of that. I wanna first squish most of my back down into the ground as much as I can. So I have contact with my butt, my low back, mid back, shoulders, all the way up to my head, okay? So I'm not extended like this where my ribs are up. I'm gonna go ahead and bring that down and kind of squish everything down into the ground. I'm then gonna place my hands where we talked about, and I'm gonna start thinking about breathing into my fingers. So this might take a little while. You might notice that this isn't moving at all, and your chest is moving a lot. So one thing we could also do is putting one hand on the belly button and one hand on the collarbone. If I feel my collarbone raise up first, then I know that I'm breathing too much with my upper chest, and we need to kind of focus the breathing down more into the abdomen. Think about breathing down into the hips. So I'm gonna go ahead, once I kind of can start getting a little more control, and I start to feel my stomach expand a little bit better, then I know my diaphragm's working on my side, okay? So I'll go through a few breaths of that, and what you should see when you're doing that breathing correctly. You'll notice how the stomach's expanding. So I'm not just loose and just kind of pushing out my stomach like this, okay? I'm actually building pressure in that abdomen, so it's called intra-abdominal pressure. That pressure is gonna help protect my spine when I'm doing my lifts. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through a few breaths, and then we'll talk about bracing. So once I feel it expanding the way it should, then we can go ahead and we're gonna brace. And this is once again what you would do each rep that you're doing your deadlift, squat, bench press, whatever strength lift we are doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and breathe in. And then once I build that pressure, I'm gonna go ahead and clamp down and think about squeezing everything. I'm gonna think about like tightening up my abs like if I was gonna get hit in the stomach, okay? So I'm not hollowing out and sucking in. I'm actually building pressure and then tightening everything on top of that. So you can think about like a balloon blowing up, keeping that pressure in, and then the abs and all the core muscles going and keeping that tightness that balloon creates, okay? So I can start to feel for hollow spots or for soft spots, and if I do feel those, like let's say that this was soft right here, I want to go ahead and kind of touch that a little bit more and to get it to respond and harden up, okay? So you'll notice how your brain will start to activate the muscles that we tell it to. It takes a little bit of practice, but I'm telling you guys, starting here is really important. So once I create that and I have a good amount of tension throughout the whole core, then I can also start to bridge on top of that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my breathing, brace, and I'm gonna hold that brace as I do my glute bridge. Okay, so now I have my glutes tight, my core tight. This is the same thing I would need at the top of my lift. Okay, so I'm gonna go through about just 5 to 7 reps of that. We don't have to take it too high reps, guys. We don't wanna fatigue before we start doing our actual lifts. So breathe, brace, bridge, feel for those soft spots. I don't feel them, I'm good to go. Then you can go ahead and stand up, and you'll see how that translates to when I do it with the bar. So I'm here, I'm gonna do that breathing, same thing we talked about. And then as I stand up, I'm still braced, I'm still tight, glutes are tight, and it's the same thing that we practiced right there in the glute bridge, okay? So practice it on the ground, and it will translate into when you do your lift.